Hi, I'm Sharita Olivares, and this is video journal number 7. So, what I learned from the SOP stakeholders is that the elementary stakeholder and the high school SOP, they sort of do assessments for different reasons. So with elementary, they're assessing to see where that student, they're assessing to see the deficits and to try to, come up with an intervention to help that student build the gaps, fill in the gaps between their deficits. Whereas in high school, SOPs are somewhat more irregular with the high school students because a lot of the high school students that once had it in elementary school, they've kind of been phased out of it. And the ones that still had it, the SOPs are looking to phase them out of it because they think at this point, they've had it previously for years. And whatever it is that they've learned. And what they haven't learned by 9th, 10th, 11th grade, they probably won't learn it. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit strange, but I guess I can kind of see where their thinking lies. So what I learned from performing the FBA and just my observation of the student is that sometimes the behavior is so unpredictable and outrageous that the behavior interventions can trump the academics, because sometimes you're just spending so much time trying to just get the student from one spot to the next that your focus needs to be on behavior so you can get to the academics. So that's what I observed. And how will I use that in my future classroom? I think my major takeaway is, and what I can identify with my observation, is that my focus as a special ed teacher has always been, especially teaching high school and having so many students with so many issues, not just my students with ASD, but just a lot of my students, my SPED students, have just some really interesting and some heartbreaking factors. And I like Miss C, I focus sometimes more on behavior versus academics if the situation calls for that. I mean, throughout this year, I've dealt with some things, some experiences that I didn't experience with my elementary kids or with my middle school kids, and that's maybe some suicidal ideology. And when you're dealing with things like that, yes, your focus needs to be just on their mental health and their mental well-being. What I will take into consideration with my students that I learned from this course is that even when they're displaying a negative behavior, there's a reason for it. They are trying to get a need met, and to just be more aware of that and to try to find the function of that behavior, even if it's not official, unofficially find the function of the behavior. So thank you.